Well, Salty Dog, I actually want to cover this one. Let's get a couple of files up here, a Pawn and a Flappy Bird, real quick. Um, Give somebody the Unity I'm trying to build here because different type of balls being balls, SCP, Magic the Gathering, MTF colors. Here when I played that 64, it's a numbers thing. I'm not exactly sure the Marine personnel versus Army personnel or how it equates into the police, fire, EMT variables, but obviously it's a broken shit show against what we want, can integrate in, and would have naturally and through the system. Again, I think I posted that. We'll be getting into this audit here in a second because I want to go do some shaking hands of danger video stuff because you got to look at that, right? What did I just say? I'm going to give a high marine criteria based on the CRAN, the checklist, and the Chow Hall, right? Code Reds, about how we critically core test this. Let's say I'm not the cops, but I have First Amendment audit at all points in time, regardless, 42 feet, 150 feet, AR backyard. There's important parts here. Again, when we don't, I mean, just right off the hop, if I'm going to say something like that with that type of setup, well, then what am I doing? I'm really saying, well, I'm trying to schedule what we already knew was going to happen. It was just going to come in broken.
I'm sorry. I can help you. I don't need any help right now at the moment. Probably in a few moments, though.
Now, right here, he's not read what I believe is a foundry inspector. Let's say I was Army trained. I could probably 40% of those are going to be cops. It's just a huge volume. I can't just set the union off. And the results there that differentiate that argument are what they are. What was our natural log policy? Who's our Oilers number here that has some kind of books about what our staff is, what our computers do, what our lights are? I'd happily just need to know that's what that is. Sure, you can come in here and just audit the lobby. You can stand there quietly and respectfully and just be part of what that is right there. Most people don't. It's a read technique thing, and it is up to this. I mean, at that point in time, this guy has to take on that new clerkship option of routing it in the room. There's different field charge. Technically, a sunshine I can't do shit about, but there is a bit of confidentiality, if asked, by that client right there, whether it be they were in trouble or maybe they're filing a complaint. Totally reasonable. They don't want necessarily that to get out there. For all I know, this guy was this guy's enemy, right? And he wanted to be in there and potentially do that. We don't know any of that yet. We have no numbers for what that is, and obviously this is a dangerous situation. One that has been accepted. One that has been said, well, coming in here, usually there's something outside, but even then we still have people that slide guns right into these buildings. And you looked at the door. There's no way I can stop somebody from doing that, equally like I can't say the camera was the option. And that's kind of how it bugs down, because you can put a metal detector there, but you'll still get a cell phone through it. And for no reason why you shouldn't. But the customer service aspect at this point right here is something that I would consider like a 42 feet. It's as much as administrative immunity failure as anything else. But he's not necessarily a street cop or anymore or something like that, how they equate X. And to that, I'd have to run this foundry inspection like I would run a setup on a CNC, right? I got my station laid out. I'm going to theoretically present myself as this hostile particle in an audit. And this is, when you are guys are in this and you know that you're compromised to this test and you have to do it from time to time or find a free hand, it's going to come in days when you don't want it to happen, right? Is it on me at the office to literally, the day Astro World happened, or just blindly look at that as well and then repress on that junior NCO or NCO? All right, well then those are kind of the things, because it turns into stuff. We know that now. We observed it. We had the chance to see some facial expressions inside of here against what we believe the law was, because realistically there's no reason, even though it's rattling around up there, it's not practical. It's in a different superposition to what this guy is thinking. He's here for other reasons. I don't know what pissed him off, but obviously enough. The only other reason I would First Amendment audit in any other standards is because I'm looking for a lawsuit. And, well, hopefully you know my track record with the mayor and other things that says, well, I could have had the opportunity. I probably walked past a lot of job qualification things that just by being who I want, whether they knew or not knew, they still decided to make choices. And that's a real bad thing. And realistically, it's you would say sweep it under the rug, but it's a debt ceiling on priority here about which ones we're gonna have to take eventually. We just can't sweep them all under the rug. It's a two-tiered system, and I don't even have that math to explain why that is as a mechanical rip your arm off feature here. We would get our arms ripped off. But as you go through here,
I'm pretty sure I can.
well, that's just because somebody says, no filming inside here. I've seen it in mills before. It's a mandatory over 40 hours. There's no OSHA law that says you'll get fired or you'll lose your job for turning in somebody for OSHA, because I bet you if I called them right now and you knew I was going to fucking call them, would you leave this piece of paper up here when they got here? No, the Attorney General pissed off about this site, but now things were different than that camera review that it was before. Well, that's one. What did that one have mass to do? Nothing. It was just a piece of paper, right? I mean, it had the value of a piece of paper. Or just a Karen clerk that we had in here. We loved her. She was great, but in that audit, fouled hard. Do we take care of that internally here and address this as a training failure? Or do we allow the lawsuits to come in and just burn this building down? I mean, technically it won't. It'll be a pandemic of a plague that washes through here and then gets this one sick. You can't run. This is your job, hospital. Staph infections everywhere. Unless you scrub this place down, what's going down? And I don't mean to be hard on him. I don't. Hopefully this is hard to anybody in here that wants to shake hands of danger with me. It's one of my main briefs. It's a husbandry pitch. It's an efficiency pitch about how to turn this up or stabilize it down to zero. Perfect. You couldn't be more valuable just as it is in that station. More power than the president if it comes down here about what you can and cannot say or do. He gets into the point here, and he does. He turns right over. I mean, you can film in here, absolutely. Can I get your name? Whoa! Whoa, whoa, whoa. You're not allowed to ask people in here specific information, and you are allowed to stand in here. With that said, though, this is the only office space we have besides just going in there because nobody was using the office with this person to file in a complaint. It breaks a lot of our protocols. It breaks a lot of our standards. Would you please stand outside? We'll tell you how the audit can be conducted immediately after this guy is done with here. I'll call you right back in. Seems like a simple adjustment that I could make inside here, but I cannot let you know this person's complaint form or what they're signing in for. It's against the rules. You are not allowed to audit that part of this function. That has nothing to do with the light or the Wi-Fi cost here of whether it adjusted what you paid in the taxes. It has nothing to do with the square footage of this building when it comes to if we sell this building or decide to do something else with it. It has nothing to do as far as what squad cars are out back and how enforcive that system can protract inside of this system. Now, please stand outside and wait until I am done with this client. There are many good techniques we could use, and we could throw those at the wall. We AR all day in here. I'm just saying, don't leave it on the table.